Good evening and welcome. Tonight we are casting some Spy Party Competitive League Season 5, and this is a Week 12 Bronze Division match between Turnipboy and Degran. This is my co-caster tonight, Paratroopa.
Hi, everyone.
And so the season is coming to a close soon. It's a 13-week season, and like I just said, we are in Week 12, so these are the climactic matches of the season happening here. Let's take a look at the Bronze Division standings for a moment. Our match today is between Turnipboy, who is currently in 5th place, and Degran, who is in 7th. Turnipboy does currently have a 4-point lead over Degran, though. Turnipboy has won most of their matches, only 2 losses, but Degran is a little bit lower. They've lost 4 matches this season and won 2 of them. And the thing at stake here is 2nd place in the division. Shep pretty clearly in 1st place here. Their season is finished. They went without a single defeat, ending with a score of 21. And so Shep will have the option to auto-promote up to silver or to join the tournament of position. Meanwhile, whoever gets second, and then also maybe whoever gets third, will join the tournament of position also. And that is a neck-and-neck race between Pox, Rio, David W., and Turnipboy.
Yeah, it looks like there's still a lot to play for here at the very end. It's complicated. I'm looking at the standings. I can't really figure out who still has to play who, but
Yeah,
it's really close.
the simplest thing that we can sort of try to analyze is Pox has one more match to be played, and it's against Mr. Rogers, who, currently has gone without a win. It's a safe bet to say that Pox will probably get up to 20 points, getting 2 more if they win that match. And so then the question becomes, can Rio get 2 more points to get up to 20 himself? And Rio has 1 match left unplayed, and that is against Turnipboy. If Rio beats Turnipboy, they might get the 2nd place spot. However, if Turnipboy wins today and then beats Rio, the spot could go to Turnipboy instead. The only difficulty for Turnipboy is that Pox did get a win against Turnipboy in week 11 by a very narrow margin, 7-5, but it could be one of the deciding factors, because if Turnipboy ties Pox, if they both reach a score of 20, Pox would have the head-to-head tiebreaker. So Turnipboy basically needs Pox to lose their match against Mr. Rogers and needs to win this match today and also beat Rio. Or they need Shep to take the auto promotion, in which case 2nd place and 3rd place would make the tournament of promotion. I tried to make that as little confusing as possible, but by the end it still got pretty confusing. But the gist of it is, Turnipboy needs the win today if they want to make the tournament of position.
Yeah, for sure. A draw would be no good. A loss would be no good. You want to win this one if you're Turnipboy, full stop, and then you see what happens after that.
Yeah, and Turnipboy going into this is definitely the overcat, Degran being the underdog. We're forcing that until it becomes a thing. Let's take a look at what we're expecting from Turnipboy and Degran in terms of picks and bans. And so the most notable thing that I noticed about Turnipboy's stats so far is that they have a above average timeout rate as sniper. The bar on top shows that it's a lot larger compared to the division average, and a lower timeout rate compared to average as spy. In terms of venues, Turnipboy often bans Balcony and Tayen. Ballroom is listed as their most banned, but that's sort of a overall thing. In Season 5, they have not been banning Ballroom at all. They've basically started by banning Balcony and Tayen, and then in recent weeks, they began to ban Veranda. They weren't feeling particularly comfortable with it. Though, in my opinion, I don't think they need to ban Veranda today. If you take a look at Degran's stats, Degran on Veranda is 25% sniper win rate, 25% spy win rate. So if I was Turnipboy, I might want to ban something that Degran is a little bit more comfortable with.
Yeah, possibly. It's interesting to see that the it's interesting to see when someone's picks don't necessarily correlate to a win rate, but also with it's always kind of a small sample size, so it sort of depends on who you played, and I don't know. It just kind of depends on what map they're most comfortable with.
Yeah, Veranda is Degran's most picked map despite the stats, and I think that can make sense. I mean, if you're losing, you're losing, so it just makes sense that you're going to have lower stats on the map that you pick the most. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's not your best map. Maybe it's still the best you
Yeah,
can do.
like I my most picked map is Ballroom currently, and I have below 50% of stats on both, but it's still a little bit above my general average, I believe. And just speaking in general, when I'm playing someone really good, I like to pick that map, so I lose on it more often. It's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah, and speaking of Ballroom, Ballroom looks to be one of Degran's best maps, but it's not something they pick. And it would be nice to see if maybe they pick it tonight, if it really is a strength of theirs. The other interesting fact is Aquarium. Degran has chosen Aquarium twice, and it's only been out for a few weeks, and their win rates are pretty decent there. Meanwhile, Turnipboy has also been picking Aquarium and has an amazing spy win rate. 6 games, but I believe should be six, and they've won the vast majority of them.
Yeah, I would love to see a doubled Aquarium in this match. That would make me really happy. I don't know if we'll see it, but I would love to see Aquarium.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it is 10:03 right now, and it looks like we're just waiting on Degran. Turnip Boy has provided me with the draft code, but Degran hasn't joined the room yet. Also hasn't joined the lobby. But that's all right. We can keep analyzing here. The other thing that these players have in common is Library. It's a map that both of them have picked a couple times. Degran does pretty well on Library. It's above average stats compared to many things. Meanwhile, Turnip Boy, again, with amazing spy stats here on Library. Turnip Boy is someone as spy who definitely sort of adapts to their opponent. They are someone who's really good at going unseen in a party. And that's, we often say that as spy, if you want to make sure you're not seen, you don't watch the laser, you watch the party. You see where you think the sniper is going to be paying attention, and you do things where they're not looking. And that seems to be something that Turnip Boy is adept at, and they've had a lot of success in their spy party career. Turnip Boy started in Challenger last season, in Season 4, and they were third place in the division. It got them a high seed in the Challenger tournament, and as we can see here, they tore through their opponents, beating Belial, beating Frosty, beating Rio 9-4, beating Plastics, and making it all the way to the finals, where they lost narrowly to Lazy Bear. And that explains a lot about Turnip Boy's career. They made it all the way up to bronze as a result, and they've been doing fantastic here. Worth noting, Degran, in the same Challenger tournament, made it to round 3 and very narrowly lost to Rio, who then lost to Turnip Boy. And, all of those players are in bronze now, and it's been a really tight season. And as we were just saying, it's going to be a really tight end of season as we see which of them makes the tournament of position. Turnip Boy will be going up against Rio just next week, and so we're going to be seeing a rematch of this. But this time, Rio is the one a little bit higher on the scoreboard, so we might see a very different score compared to this 9-4 here. But that's next week. Turnip Boy still has to make it through Degran. If they don't make it through Degran today, it won't necessarily matter very much if they're able to beat Rio next week or not.
Yep, just got to win this one and then see how things play out. The top of bronze is really scary. I'm really impressed by the play at the top level of bronze. Is like not that strongly differentiated to me from gold or even platinum play. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's we do have Degran here in the lobby, by the way.
Great. That's perfect. But yeah, I absolutely agree. And personally speaking, am I allowed to show bias? Rio has just been one of my favorites to cast. I'm always shocked when I'm casting one of Rio's matches, and I'm narrating what the spy is doing, and I'm thinking, oh, it doesn't look like the sniper's onto it, and then he just catches, purloin chains that have gone on for over 30 seconds. He knows exactly how many fingerprints every guest has, and he just takes these perfectly timed shots. And that's just, and Rio's not even at the top of bronze. Shep is. Has been absolutely dominating. And I think the tournament of position is going to be interesting because we're going to be seeing the top of bronze go up against people at the top of silver, people from gold, people at the top of copper, and it's all going to be really, really close matches. And we have our first picks and bans coming in. First ban is from Degran, who has banned Balcony.
Not too surprising there.
Yep, it seems to be what they ban every week. I don't know if Turnipboy was going to choose it anyway. And like we predicted, Turnipboy has banned Veranda.
Yep, not too surprising there. That makes sense to ban a map that you don't feel comfortable with, that your opponent might feel more.
Yeah, I mean, Degran's
That's what bans are for.
Stats are low, but it seems like it's something they pick, and especially if Turnipboy's not feeling comfortable with it, it could have been time for Degran to raise their Veranda stats, and Turnipboy is denying it to them. And it looks like we are getting exactly what we wanted here. Degran's first pick is the aquarium.
Yay! I approve of this.
Meanwhile, Turnipboy has chosen Courtyard. And
I feel like we haven't seen a lot of doubled aquarium. It feels like a lot of people have given it a single pick just out of politeness for aquarium, but haven't seen a lot of double.
And our second pick coming in from Degran is Gallery, followed by second pick from Turnipboy, High Rise.
All right, we got a good variety here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what strategies Degran has prepared for Aquarium. During Degran's last match against Rio, one of their strategies on Aquarium was to purposefully cough behind the shark to incite shots from the sniper.
Oh god, I hope we see more good shark plays like that. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and Turnipboy has been picking Aquarium the past few weeks as well, so I have a feeling that might have been exactly what Turnipboy wanted. They were telling me that they have a certain map that they've been feeling good about just the past few weeks for a secret strategy, and it may very well be Aquarium. So this is going to be an exciting first 4 games, I think.
I think so.
And I'm all loaded up here.
Yep, so am I.
Starting
Got on Duke.
In 3, 2, 1... playing it. Oh, that's not a good sign at the top of the screen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no, we can't see that. Okay, it was
What?
a disconnect. I thought we were about to see some sort of chaos bug that goes very wrong, but it looks like some sort of error? I don't know what happened. Maybe they accidentally started on recommended mode.
That's possible. I didn't see what happened. It's possible.
That's very strange. I hope neither player had a disconnect, but they both still seem to be in the match, so it should be okay. I hope they're not having any sort of internet issues here.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate, because I really want to see these aquarium matches.
Yeah, so Degran's stats on Aquarium so far is a total 50-50 split, and that's over 12 games, so it's a decent sample size. Meanwhile, Turnipboy with the amazing spy win rate.
I've got the game up now.
Great. Starting again in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I've got Degran as queen this time. Forget everything you just thought about Degran being Duke there. Gonna open up a few bar visitors here.
Ooh, look at that though. We were right next to the ambassador and it was a top shark crossing. We didn't bug, but I would wager that we may be credited for it anyway.
Yeah, you can see the sniper tilting their camera, I think possibly trying to get a look at that. We go right for the briefcase.
Yeah, it's some aggressive play. Didn't even wait to get a drink. And we stop at the correct time, but if we're already credited for the bug and then we get an immediate fingerprint, Degran could be a huge suspect. Turnipboy highlights for statues. If they have a suspect who has not been to statues, we're not going to see a highlight on them, so we're only going to find out when a shot comes off.
Yeah, the only interesting thing here is that if Turnipboy suspects that Degran did not bug, then Queen would not be a suspect, just because that bug would have been. But it's hard to say whether or not they suspect that there could have been a bug there.
Yeah, it really depends. I didn't have the sniper view open. If the shark was blocking it completely, you have to credit it, but if you feel you could have maybe seen it, maybe seen something in the legs, you can get some lowered suspicion for not taking the opportunity to
I'm
bug.
not sure it was ever quite fully blocked. I think that Queen was at least partially visible at all, even if it was just her legs. And the sniper was tilting. They were really focusing on. It's hard to say. I wasn't sure if a bug happened.
Yeah, so it looks like we're just going to be standing here going for a timer flirt, and it's up to 85% now. Would have been good to finish it in one go, but now's about the time you can leave, go do your other missions, and know that whenever you do need the final flirt, it'll be pretty easy to get as long as, you know, the ST's not briefcase chasing.
The Ambazette bar dropped the briefcase. There's two different opportunities for a fingerprint there if we want it. Never mind, the Amba decided to leave.
But instead we decided to do a fake contact, and are we going to see lowlights for not real?
Are we going to get low? Irish got a low light, but...
No, it looks like that's only because she had just entered.
She had just entered, I think. So Amba, unfortunately, both of those fingerprint opportunities fell by the wayside. Someone picked up the briefcase. And the Amba left without getting a drink, so that's not going to be an option for us. So we're going to finish our flirt instead.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of statue highlights. The twin, I believe, is completing inspects?
I think so, yeah. We do have the ambassador leaving a fingerprint on that right statue now. There's also a briefcase there. That's an option for us.
Yeah, when I see a spy doing a fake banana bread like that, I wonder if they just took it because it was a good time or if they're planning on framing someone.
Oh. No, there is still a fingerprint on this drink. I could have sworn the ambassador didn't get a drink there. I must have made a mistake. There was a fingerprint.
Are we going to delegate to the twin? Yes, we are. Degran knows that the twin is finished inspects, and it looks like that's who we're planning on delegating to. Another fake.
Brutal sunshine by the DA there. That was awful. Not only did the DA leave, but also someone else in our conversation left as well.
Yeah, if your plan is to frame this twin, it doesn't make a huge difference, but now there's, what, 20 seconds left?
It needs to be now. We're going to have to do a time ad here. We don't have enough time left.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
I think that's exactly what we're going to do.
It's behind the shark.
Behind the shark. I think we're looking for statues right now, not for the time ad.
I don't know. Oh, whoa! It worked! Yeah. We did it behind the shark, and then we immediately went to a statue, and Turnipboy was a little bit late noticing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked like it kind of looked like we were at statues that whole time. That was a really nice sleight of hand by Degran.
Yeah, amazing strategy there. The question is, are we going to finish?
Yeah, we still need to do probably an insect spot finish is all we have time for at this point, unless we can get a bug off.
Checking watch again? Where are we?
Or if DA decides to get into conversation here, we're going to follow the DA and get that done.
And then we're going to have to do another time ad. Either that or walk by the ambassador and bug them. In fact, I think bugging is the best option here, and we're a low light. I think
that's all we could do right now. Yeah, I don't know if we know we're low lit.
Oh, it was right on screen!
We saw it! Oh, man. I appreciate the attempt. The low light bug could have worked, but that arm was visible and Turnipboy was all over it.
If the ambassador had just stayed in that conversation for a moment longer, it would have been really easy to just do the walking bug without the arm being super visible, but unfortunately they left, and that meant we had to wave to the camera. Even as a low light, it's so visible.
Yeah, that if the ambassador just stayed in conversation, I think that might have worked. Possibly, although we may have been watching Queen more than we thought, even though they were low light. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing, amazing time ad. I don't know if it was luck that the shark was there or if Degran planned it, but either way, the move was executed brilliantly and earned them the low light they wanted. And unfortunately, that was just one of the easiest bugs to see.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I think that Degran played some of the elements of that game really well. He got a little bit of bad luck and fell behind. But yeah, that time ad was great.
Yeah, and Kledos in chat wondering why we didn't take the delegate. It looked to me, I mean, we had entered at the perfect spot to do it to someone who had finished statues, though, I mean, the sniper would have thought, really, what a coincidence that, a bar visitor enters right next to you after you finish statues.
Yeah, but,
All right. Well, we're starting the next game with Turnipboy as Irish in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So we're going to start by entering an innocent conversation here.
Is the ambassador going to leave? No one is violating their personal space, and that means they
No,
might
they're not
stay long
even.
enough for the middle shark.
It's possible.
There it is. Take the bug. There's no reason not to. Scoot over, get it, and then go back to where you were. It's not... Oh, no!
Oh, I don't think it was visible in the sniper screen, but yeah, it didn't work.
It wasn't necessary to do the walking by bug like that. You could have walked right next to them, done a standing bug, and gone back to your original position. You had the time, and it wouldn't have been seen.
Yeah, it seems like Turnipboy was definitely aware of where the shark was and where they would and wouldn't be seen, but just didn't execute the bug quite correctly.
Yeah, Turnipboy probably a little bit annoyed right now. They are picking up a first flirt, though, so they at least have some progress after the first minute.
There wasn't any clear reaction on Degran's side to that movement, so I don't think they were suspected for it.
Yeah, it's really not as bad. It's a missed opportunity, but you haven't really lost out on anything because I don't think you have any suspicion from it. Let's see what the plan is after this, though, because timer flirting is a little bit less viable when you already lost your first minute. The ambassador really wants us to bug them.
Very badly.
And here's the low shark. Try it again, walk right up to them and bug them, and then return to your original position,
Yeah.
Turnipboy. No.
Yeah, I think the shark is a little bit too low when we're getting our flirt. I don't think this is a good time for it.
No, I don't think so either. It probably would have been able to see a little bit of it.
Now, if only the double agent would stop in conversation. Like, almost everyone was in conversation there except the double agent,
well,
which is kind of infuriating.
Could have been a good time for a fake, especially when you're behind. A fake when you have no SDA with you could be a good way to get a civ shot if you don't finish missions.
Yeah, so we are getting a fingerprintable statue here. I wonder if Degran is on this. The ambassador, this fingerprint was left a little bit ago, but the ambassador was the only person who was doing anything at the party. So I feel like this fingerprint is pretty noticeable.
Yeah, it's just a question of if Degran remembers it, and it is a first statue inspect as well. That does set Turnipboy up to be able to finish, especially if the ambassador leaves a print on another statue. A minute 15 left. Maybe going for a purloin instead of a contact could be a good option here.
I'm curious what Degran's highlighting strategy is, because we didn't see a highlight on Turnipboy for that inspect. Are we going to try to delegate to Smallman or the double agent here? It's hard to tell. The suspected double agent.
Degran is essentially more of a behavioralist than a camper, but their lighting is generally pretty varied. They do usually highlight for statues and fingerprints, though.
Yeah, here it comes. We did a talk and then a quick leave, and we delegated to the SDA. So it's we'll see if this list is noticed being taken. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but look at all the people at statues and bookshelves. Were they watching it?
Gosh, it looked to me like the sniper was looking right at it, but it's possible that they weren't.
Well, Turnipboy still has to finish. Get that fingerprint. I don't think Turnipboy is going to get shot for this. Please don't accidentally read a book instead. No, that's not the button you want.
No.
Oh, wait, never
there's
mind.
A fingerprint there.
It's fine.
That's
sorry.
why the...
Right,
yeah,
yes.
Yes.
I made the same mistake. I thought we need the briefcase. It's the thing with the print, but the book has it too.
That's why the briefcase is there.
Well, luckily, Turnipboy didn't get as nervous there about the countdown as I was.
Yeah, so it looks like the list, if it was seen, then we didn't know who took it, because there wasn't really a reaction to the list being taken.
Yeah, in fact, if anything, I think maybe picking up the briefcase might have been wrong, because the ambassador was still pretty close when we started pathing towards it, so I got caught up in the hype there. But we're
Definitely
starting...
going to the book was more innocent.
Starting the next match in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And Pwned Noob, briefcase etiquette expert, does say that we probably should have got the briefcase instead of the book, but it wasn't punished. And either way, it was a pretty debatable case, considering how the ambassador was walking away.
Yeah, it would have been hard to shoot for that. To shoot for briefcase etiquette there would have been really tough. You would have had to shoot for the fingerprint instead, if you're going to shoot.
Yeah, and I just don't think that Degran was really on top of the delegate anyway.
That bug was pretty much free. Behind the shark, sniper could not see it. They might suspect it, though. But it was pretty free.
We're highlight, though.
Yeah, we did get highlights, I think, for being next to the ambassador behind the shark at that time.
And that's notable because, like I said, Turnipboy usually only keeps their highlights for statues. What's going on with these highlights?
Those are very soft highlights. We lost him right away. I'm not really sure. I don't know. Turnipboy just might be thinking. Just thought process stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, things stick more in your mind when you click. It's why some snipers have said that when they take safety off on someone, it's not just to show the casters what they're thinking, it's to leave an impression in their mind. Delegate has gone off to the twin, and the list should be taken. No, it expired.
Nope, it expired just before we got the drink there. That I don't know if that may have been for the better, because we were a little bit under the spotlight just for that. It's hard to tell how much Turnipboy was watching that.
Yeah,
but I suspect that it might have been a fair bit.
When you consider that the bug was taken from a path from the bar right at the start, I think it might have been pretty easy to remember that Tex had been at the bar. So I agree. I agree. It's better that the delegate didn't go off, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have worked. So we're starting our flirt a little bit late here. Finally got a white test, 34%. We've got that bug, but we do need to start making progress at some point.
Yeah, with suspicion for that bug, I think 2 statue visits could kill Degran, so it might be a good idea to go for a game without statues or a game without contact. One of the two, I think, might be the best bet.
We do have a twin finishing statues, which is fun. I think he's finishing statues anyway. I think he's been there before.
The only really good thing for Degran is that we look very idle right now. If Turnipboy has ever been thinking, hey, what's up with Tex, who I thought could have bugged at the start, the answer would have been, oh, he's just in conversation for like the past 2 minutes.
Yeah, he hasn't really been doing anything. I think if I probably wouldn't suspect Tex that strongly at this point. But we're going to have to get a move on. There's nothing at this book, unless they're going to do microfilm.
Well, there's always microfilm at books. It's not a mission you see people go for often, especially this late in a match, and Degran's not taking it, so it's just active idling.
Yeah. Just resetting the flirt timer, I guess, but that's not going to be enough. Are we close enough to get this flirt? Yeah, we are. Okay, we're fine.
I was worried we wouldn't be as well, but what's the plan?
It's scarily close to being in that 31% range.
Now we're going to another bookshelf behind a shark.
We do have a fingerprint here, so that's something. But we're going to need another fingerprint and another mission soon.
That was a very quick bookcase visit. I don't think we read the book at all. We curved strangely into the conversation. Oh, it was to get the contact. If Turnipboy's onto Degran at all, that quick leave, but a safety off on Hare instead. Degran, no suspicion for anything so far, but can you swap this statue before the time runs out? Oh, it's a fingerprint!
Hare's not going to get shot, though, because she hasn't been doing anything. Yeah, we're going to have...
Whoa!
Oh, no!
Whoa!
There's no slug, so he doesn't shoot!
Oh, my God!
Oh, my goodness! I thought he was just going to shoot whoever was at statues for any reason, like possible inspect finish that he missed, or possible fingerprint.
And Rocker was at statues. He did shoot someone at statues, but that camera movement in overtime, my God, it's like an action movie.
Yeah, she was still body blocking the statue, so he couldn't see the swap there. So she was more suspicious because we saw that there was no swap from Tex. Wow, that's an incredible ending there. What a great finish with the fingerprint on the statue.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go for a swap, but there was a fingerprint there. Let's see how long it was and from when the ambassador left it.
It was a while. I remember the ambassador being there, but I didn't think there would still be a fingerprint.
Yeah, that was at 2 minutes. It had been there for a whole 2 minutes. It's no wonder they didn't get shot. Starting the next match in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, with Aquarian, there's 8 statues, so fingerprints can stay on those statues for a really long time. If you're playing Spy and you see the ambassador take a statue, you could leave that there for a while, and the sniper might forget about it by the time you go back.
Yeah, I was really worried about Degran's chances there. They started the flirt late, they weren't making progress, they went to that useless bookcase, but then they just knew where all those fingerprints were. They had a plan, they executed it, and they were moving a lot. And so I think the reason they didn't get shot from moving around so much, you know, doing the quick bookcase visit, the quick entry in a conversation, banana bread, and then leave right away, is because of all the active idling they were doing. In fact,
Right.
I would wager that it might even be that bug path at the beginning helped them, because probably after the bug path, Turnipboy kept looking at them, seeing if they were doing anything else, and they just weren't, and so it looked good.
Oh boy, we got a low shark coming in here. We're right next to the ambassador. We've got a drink in our bugging hand, though.
No.
We can't take this bug. But Degran's not going to suspect that a bug happened, so no problem there.
And we really wanted that briefcase before Kane could get to it.
Yeah,
make
where
sure
are
you
we gonna
stop.
Good stop.
Oh,
We did Purloin the guest list. That's done now. I don't think Degran's having much of a reaction to that.
no. Looks like Tex is the one who took it for us, and there's just nothing. No reaction from the sniper. Maybe not even looking, because it's one of the SDAs getting a drink right now, and I don't see any lights coming off.
Yeah, we did basically a free gulp there to get rid of our 2 drinks. I don't think that's going to be noticed.
And we've finished the Seduce. This is very, very good progress from Turnipboy. It was a short briefcase return too. Might not have been noticed because it didn't take a lot of time.
Yeah. Though we did take that briefcase, we stopped because the Amba's at green bookcase, and now we're at green bookcase. This is a fairly aggressive fingerprint attempt, but I'm not sure if... I just really haven't seen any reaction from Degran to anything Turnipboy's done, so... we might be able to get away with a contact here and finish.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I also love taking the book. Ooh!
Never mind.
Highlight.
Yeah, oh, wow. Okay, Degran was absolutely on top of that. Never mind. Not sure if it was for the purloin or the fingerprints. But like I said, I do think that the fingerprint attempt was very aggressive. When you take the briefcase, it always sort of leaves an impression on my mind when you take the briefcase and you go to where the Amba is leaving a fingerprint, and then you're at that place that the Amba was leaving a fingerprint. Because I'm always watching the briefcase return, so I know where the Amba is at that moment. I'm not sure if that was what it was, or I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There were a lot of things.
I thought that Turnipboy was playing an aggressive game, but one that seemed likely to go under the radar, but it turns out it was over the radar.
Yeah, there were a lot of things. There were a lot of things there. Degran might have noticed the purloin more than I thought. There wasn't really a reaction, but it might have been noticed. I mean, I would kind of expect it to be noticed. And then the general's also moving around quite a bit. There were a lot of quick leaves and stuff like that.
And we have the next game starting up as Alice in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Also known as Ponytail.
We're in a nice conversation here with both the DA and the ST right away. Get a 28% flirt.
Yeah, it's not the best, but that was the open spot, and it's good that we didn't try to jam ourselves in next to her.
If you take it early, it's fine. We're not going to be flirt paired with Queen this early in the game. That's not going to be a thing.
A lot of people in conversation. Tex isn't, the twin is alone, but it looks like we just don't want to be taking a contact right now anyway, but we're going to go in for a far flirt. This time we could have entered next to her.
Yeah, I don't know. We get 48%, so even if we get a green now,
All right.
we're gonna need to flirt this, but we did it so quickly that it kind of doesn't matter. We
Everyone is
got
in
2 flirts.
conversation except for Smallman. This is a really good time to go for your contact, and let's
We're
see.
gonna do it. Yep.
General
You
was
get a low light on
alone,
general.
gets a low light. Smallman should get low lit, but maybe he looks splitting? No.
Yeah, I think I might have been suspicious of a split from Smallman there, but it was hard to tell.
Well, Smallman also just went back to statues. Almost, I think, statues to statues, so that would have been interesting either way.
Yeah.
And the flirt is, well, it's up to 69% now.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's after 3 flirts, and that's not really a number you want to see when you've already flirted 3 times with only a minute and a half left.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. We got 3 flirts in the time that it would take most people to get 2, so we're not really behind on that or anything. It just means that we've had to talk a lot in conversation, but I doubt it's been seen, really.
Well, it means that for the next flirt, we're going to want to be next to her. Timer flirting right now means you need to hit a green, and also there's just over a minute left. You haven't done statues, and is Degran looking for a good time to do a hard tell?
Yeah, we can't timer flirt here, especially since there has 2 left anyway. Gotta do something here.
I mean,
We could do a Purloin. We've got a lot of guests in this area where Toby is right now.
yeah, the one thing in Degran's favor is that very few people were ruled out from the banana bread, so there might be a lot of suspects. You might hope for a civ shot, but on Courtyard, the sniper is just not going to shoot unless they see someone do a hard tell.
Yeah, I don't. There's not going to be a shot here happening for any reason. We're just kind of chilling.
Degran?
We're just kind of walking around.
Whoa!
Oh,
what
here comes a time ad.
Degran, interesting move, entering the conversation, then immediately leaving it for the time ad. I'm not sure if that was indecisiveness or some form of like, oh, I was in this conversation the whole time.
Yeah, Sniper didn't see it, although they do know the time ad happened, I think. We got some low lights here. Or at least I think that's why Queen was low lit.
Are we going to go for the bug now? No, that would have been very visible.
Hard swerve away from the ambassador there.
But the ambassador wants to be bugged.
Is Twin gonna give us a blockage there? Well, we could have taken it there,
Sort
maybe.
of did. Toby is all sort of on the opposite side, but the ambassador leaves, and Degran is just not able to get the hard tell they need. They've already proven that they'll do time ads if they need to, and I feel like rather than timing out, they'll go for another time ad.
We could have maybe picked up the briefcase there. I'm not sure if it's too close. We could pick up the briefcase and then go back to the statues. Yeah, this is gonna... Yeah, we're done now. I am pretty sure Turnipboy knows.
We were done for a long time, I think, and I mean, this is double. Degran is going to have one more turn as spy, and I wonder if we're going to see some adjustments in their play.
Disney, though, is maybe giving us an out. He goes right for that fingerprintable statue. And then goes right back to it.
Meanwhile, look at Degran taking an innocent drink, just trying to lose as much suspicion as possible, hope for a civ shot. I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't be shocked beyond belief if Disney or someone else somehow got shot here.
I would not shoot Disney for taking the same statue twice without moving, and then going back to statues again. Don't shoot Disney. Just lowlight him. It's not him.
And we've purloined the list. Off-screen, but...
Off-screen, but we're going to get shot.
No, with the suspicion from the time ad, that was a shot.
Yeah, There wasn't really much of an opportunity to get a civ shot there, unless maybe Disney was nice and went for another fingerprint, but instead he just looked at statues all day.
Yeah.
So that wasn't going to work out.
Starting the next game with Turnipboy as Alice now in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I think there was just Degran was awfully meek about getting a hard tell done and ended up just going for time ads, and that's not a mission finished, unfortunately.
Yeah, getting the hard tell done on Courtyard is hard, but you do have to make an attempt at it, and so I'll be looking forward to see what Degran does when they're spying next game.
I'm not a big fan of time ads on Courtyard, personally. It's possible to get away with them, but it doesn't offer you quite as much of an advantage, just because I feel like civ shots are fairly rare on Courtyard. Because you've got to get that hardtail done somehow. Unless you're going to do fingerprints, but that's also almost kind of a hardtail on this map.
Yeah, I mean, you would have had to hope that one of the AI gets fingerprints, and that might be what Degran was hoping for, and it just didn't work out. We are going to have the opportunity to get the briefcase here. The ambassadors put it down. We're taking the contact, though.
This is a great banana bread. I don't think anyone's had a conversation. I don't think we could get any lowlights off of this, unless we want to take lowlights for not real.
Yeah, and then Irish goes to statues right afterwards. It's a common spy play to, be one of the first ones to leave after Banana Bread, so Irish could be a suspect here.
It's possible. I might just do a timer flirt here. Just kind of hanging out. The briefcase is there, but Irish is going to pick it up, maybe?
Oh, God.
Oh, boy, Irish. You're doing a lot.
I want to see this Civ shot. I'm rooting for it.
Yeah, Irish has a lot of progress right now. Wondering if Turnipboy's aware of that. I don't know.
And we panned to follow her as she curved around the ambassador, but she's going back to statues!
That's not great. There was a fingerprint on one of the statues on the other side, I believe, but not on this side.
I thought there was one on the one that Salmon is doing, but unfortunately it's going to be difficult now. But in my opinion, it's a good move to go for the difficult one. The sniper might not catch it, and that's exactly what Turnipboy... Irish wanted it!
Oh! She wanted it, but no, Alice, yeah, we're going to take it instead. I do like beginning with the difficult fingerprint, because then if you get it... Oh, swap! Swap! It was off screen.
Salmon was there before us. Shoot Salmon. It's not seen yet, though, and now we're at the other one. Oh, Turnipboy. What are you doing?
That was interesting. We didn't actually finish our inspects the first time we went.
Well, the swap's not seen.
The second time. Yeah, swap's not seen, so this is going to be good.
Nice job, Turnipboy. That was a good call to swap. Well, I don't know. I can't say if it was a good call. I'm a little bit surprised it didn't get seen. You would think the sniper would have shot either Alice or Salmon there, but the swap wasn't noticed.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that we held the shot there. The sniper, it was off screen the moment it happened, but we did definitely see Alice holding the swap statue. That was seen. So I'm not sure why we held the shot. I don't know if we just missed the swap or if we weren't sure if it was Salmon, possibly. We didn't see the fade, so it could have been Salmon. Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely something to ask about in the future.
Yeah. It's possible we forgot that Salmon was the one there. It's also possible Degran was just a little bit of a tentative sniper and said, alright, I know it's either Alice or Salmon, I'm going to wait and see what they do next. But also Turnipboy did do that play where they go to the statue next to it and make it seem like that's the one they were at the whole time. But either way, we have the next match, Degran as Spy in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Back on General here, an old favorite. Get it nice and close for our first seduce. That's good.
I mean, Degran wasn't able to get a hardtail off last time. The General pick makes me think maybe they want to get a good walking bug on the Ambassador.
Yeah, I agree. That's General's a really nice pick on Courtyard, I think. Nice pick everywhere, but especially on Courtyard.
Looks like we're just going to be timer flirting here. Could be a good time to maybe try to go to statues unseen while the Ambassador and Toby are like all together on the other side, but I don't know. Courtyard's hard. You don't have many options.
I doubt it would be unseen.
Yeah, unfortunately, this looks like a party that's very easy to keep track of for Turnipboy at the moment. The Ambassador and Toby have just always been on screen, and the guests haven't really been moving around a lot. It's not a great situation for Degran, who's already shown us that they might struggle to find a good time to do their hardtail.
Yeah, well, we do have the Ambassador leaving a fingerprint here. And dropping the briefcase, so we'll see if some AI gets fingerprints. Banana Bread comes off. We don't really get any lowlights off of this. Everyone that was out of conversation was already lowlit.
Yeah, I think the only one we got was Boots. She was alone in conversation.
I think she was already lowlit for some reason.
Maybe. The ambassador looks like they're leaving prints on
Ugh.
statues. Do we want that? Are we chasing it very immediately? What? That was a strange path into the statues. I don't really know what Degran was doing, but they will have an opportunity to get the briefcase on their way out.
No, they won't, because
No.
Smallman wants it.
Yeah, it looks to me like Degran isn't necessarily very comfortable as a spy on this map. I just don't get a good sense of what their plan is, or why they've chosen the timing for the moves that they make.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's good that they've got inspects done, but now they're highlight, which is going to make doing a bug harder, even as general. That's not close enough for the flirt, is it? Oh, we got the green, though. Okay, good.
Everything's close enough if you green.
Yeah, that's generally speaking, yeah.
Generally speaking.
Generally.
Hey, so I have a question about Courtyard. You've probably never heard it before. What's the hardtail going to be? Well, it's a purloin.
Purloin, probably. Here it comes.
There it is. Oh, it's right on screen. Nope.
Yeah, this, unfortunately, yeah, it's too visible.
It was a valiant attempt.
The fake banana bread really didn't divide our attention for very long, and then the fake banana bread also makes you think maybe we should look at the drink right afterwards. And
yeah, especially in the last 30 seconds. That's exactly when the spy is going to be trying to do something like that. And with that, Turnipboy is now up 5-2. They tied on Aquarium, but Turnipboy has won all 3 Courtyard games so far. And we are now going into the final Courtyard game. Degran really needs a point here to stay in this match. Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Well, it is Courtyard, so we should have a fairly decent chance to take a point here as Sniper.
Yeah, Degran lost the last Sniper game because they didn't see that swap that Turnipboy did as Alice. And here's an immediate time ad.
Immediate time ad. That's very aggressive.
I don't think it was noticed. We don't seem to be a suspect for it at all, so that's good. We're offered a drink. We don't take it. Looks like we should be going in for our first flirt right about now. Didn't feel comfortable entering right next to Disney, though, so it's not going to be the greatest flirt.
Yeah, we went to an innocent conversation there and left it pretty quick. I don't know if the Sniper's onto that or not, but we do get 24% in this first flirt, which is not great.
Yeah, it feels like these Courtyard games have been defined by low flirts. I think 3 people were going for that briefcase and turned around when it got taken. A behavioralist would have a field day with that.
Yeah, and unfortunately it was an SDA that picked it up too.
There's a contact coming off, and again, I think every single person was in conversation.
I think someone was moving, but I don't remember who.
Maybe Smallman, he's the only lowlight, but other than that, these conversations are so full.
Yeah, there's only 3 people who could have done a reel there, Teal, Seek, and Taft, so I wonder if...
Oh, and we did a bug on the ambassador and got shot for it.
Well, okay.
This is what it looked like from the sniper's point of view. The arm definitely very visible there. Noble attempt, but Degran gets the point they need to stay alive.
Yeah. So now we're going to move on to Gallery here. Which I think could be a fairly swingy map. We could see a comeback, potentially.
Yeah, at the very least, Degran wants to hold even here. Maybe 2 sniper wins could be good, because then we go into High Rise, and High Rise is definitely where things can get swingy, and that's exactly what Degran needs, even though it was Turnipboy's pick. And if Degran gets 2 games there, Turnipboy will maybe really regret picking it. But first, we have to get through Gallery, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Nah, you can't get that window flare with Queen. That's not going to work. Queen left almost immediately there. Could chase her to books. Oh no, we'd kind of have a Wii U there.
Yeah, and looks like Degran. I mean, how long has Degran been at this painting pad? I think it's been about like 20
Eh,
seconds. That's a really long stay.
no, we moved a little bit.
Oh, okay.
We did go to Blue Books, but long after our ST has left.
Yeah, Blue Book is the harder one to microfilm at. There's really no cover here, so I don't know if we should try
I
it.
would not try the animation transfer right now. I think. Well, now Toby's blocking it, but it's still questionable.
And it looks like we're just reading the book. It's too long to take it out now, I think. We have to put it
Oh,
back. How long have we been reading this book?
a while.
Is this
We
too
were
long?
waiting for the transfer. That was really visible.
Ooh.
But Turnipboy may not have been looking for it because Irish was at the book for so long that it may have just not been within his attention span there. He might have been looking at Toby and other people
Yeah.
doing other things.
There were people at the other bookcase. I think maybe someone at statues and maybe just guarding the ambassador and Toby. So it looks like Degran chose a good time. Had a little bit of trouble entering this conversation, but we're getting a nice 51% green flirt.
Yeah, that was a really aggressive microfilm just because it was not blocked by anything. That arm was so visible on sniper cam that you have to just be hoping that the sniper is not putting their attention on the bookcase because you've been there so long. Which I think is what happened, because if we weren't shot, then that must not have been seen, because it was really obvious.
Seek wanted that briefcase, but we made sure to get it first. It is a difficult print, though, and we don't get it.
Don't get it. Just too bad, because we could have gotten to statues and finished fingerprints, but yeah, unfortunate not that we don't get that difficult. We are kind of running out of time here. Gallery can be a bit of a time crunch if you don't get progress pretty early.
We really want the green flirt, but we don't hit it, and that could be a problem.
Could be. I mean, we could just leave and come back right away. The sniper is not watching this right now.
And I think Degran is, no, not doing that, but they are leaving. Degran probably wants to go to the green bookshelf at some point soon. The ambassador is at statues. Toby is kind of going a little bit lower on the map.
We do have some decent occlusion here, and oh, we missed
Ooh.
the pad. I don't know if that was seen, though. I think the sniper has a lot to think about right now with the statue visitors and with Toby.
And it's
The transfer would be invisible right now if we did it.
yeah, and it's a
Oh, no, Toby
fingerprintable
moved a
book.
little
Oh
bit.
no, that transfer. The head is right on screen, but we're not watching it. The
Nah,
ambassador
wasn't
was
seen.
pretty safe, and Toby wasn't offering to anyone, so there wasn't too much else for the sniper to be looking at. I don't know about the timing of that microfilm, but it worked.
Yeah, I don't think the sniper saw either transfer because we would have just been shot if he did.
And we
so-
also did a contact, few lowlights coming off on people in the middle of the venue, but we are staying zoomed in, not risking
Oh, we
zooming out at all.
leave and come back to the conversation. We need to finish with a fingerprint, I think. We have a statue. One of these statues has a fingerprint on it. I think we're going towards it.
Degran started talking
There
in
it
that
is.
conversation, left immediately, but this isn't a statue finish. Unless you know about the fingerprint, you're not going to shoot Irish for completing inspects right now. She wasn't highlight before, means it's her first visit, and we're not going to see a shot come off from Turnipboy. Degran getting a crucial point to stay in the match.
I really love these. We've seen this twice now. The the fingerprint on a statue finish without, I think, is really strong because you don't shoot for inspects, you don't shoot for swap, you have to shoot for the fingerprint. And usually statue visitors are kind of innocent if they're not finishing inspects that late.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we saw from Turnipboy, just highlighting Irish there for statues. You could tell Turnipboy really had no inclination to shoot. And why would you if you haven't seen the microfilms? You just don't really think
Right.
Irish is finishing there.
That is the strong thing about microfilm, is that doesn't leave a trace. So if it wasn't seen, you're basically up a mission. That basically turned into 3 of 8. So you can't shoot. As a really nice play. Really good awareness of the psychology of microfilms there.
And so we're starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Turnipboy.
I think what it...
Go ahead.
Sorry, I think what it is about the bookcases is that you just have to be aware of when the sniper is not looking at bookcases anymore. It's really hard to know. I feel like microfilm is kind of a coin flip because that arm on the blue transfer was very visible. But again, if the sniper's not looking at it, he had other things to look at. His attention was elsewhere. That's just how it is.
Meanwhile, we're not in a great conversation now. We got the first flirt with the seduction target. Now they're off at a bookshelf. Is
Tia
that
joined
right?
us. We can do the contact now. This would be it could be better, but it's not bad.
Yeah, the front conversation is not super full. We might want that to fill up just a little bit.
Yeah. Gallery is one of those maps where, because the double agent can decide to just not come back to conversation ever, I like to take my contact at slightly inopportune times just because I don't want to risk not being able to do it later. So I'd probably do it now.
Yeah, there's
That's
a lot of
just
people
me,
at
though.
statues. Maybe just wait a little bit for them to enter. That could be what Turnipboy is thinking, but that's...
We've got a pretty good BB now. I don't think you could ask for much better.
Yeah, I think you should take it, especially when you've been waiting here so long and not making other progress. But Turnipboy leaves, goes for another flirt, up to 85% now. That's good. We're not going to be having trouble flirting. Just wait for those words to come back and bite me when we're in the last 30 seconds chasing the twin around.
Ooh, we get real close to the Amba. Definitely don't bug there. That would have been bad, but I'm going to go for a difficult fingerprint here. This has been smudged once.
Yeah, it looks like both of these players really like going for the fingerprints. Let's see if we can get it. We did!
We did. Very nice. So that gives us really good progress now.
There's the ambassador. Are we going to go for a bug here? No, they walk in front of us, so we're not able to take it. But Turnipboy was setting up for it.
Oh, yeah.
Innocent drink take.
No, not quite innocent. It's got a fingerprint on it.
Oh! It does. That is fingerprint completion for Turnipboy and maybe undetected.
Oh, almost definitely undetected. I don't think there's any way that we suspect that there's a fingerprint finish for Rocker right now.
No,
that fingerprinted drink was really hard to tell.
It was hard for me to tell, and even though we have a highlight for statues, I don't know if we'll get shot for it. Here's the contact finally, but that front conversation is not only kind of empty, but doesn't have an SDA in it, and a lot of lowlights coming off.
This BP was not as good as the one that could have been taken earlier, unfortunately. We get quite a few lowlights here, although some of them are coming back.
Yeah, I
Not
think
sure why.
Well, when you have a BB like that with so many people out of conversation, maybe you think, that wasn't great, maybe it was covering for something, or maybe there was a splitter I didn't notice.
Yeah. So are we just going to finish with inspects? I find it hard to imagine that we get shot for inspects here. Let's see.
Yeah.
I think that this is going to be a win for Turnipboy.
Okay,
well, Irish at Green Books, right where Degran was in the previous match. Maybe had a flashback there and decided to shoot Irish.
Apparently. Well, I think that's okay. Turnipboy was going to win it anyway. And with that, Turnipboy is now on match point. This was a crucial win. If Degran had been able to get that sniper win, it would have been tied going into high rise. But
Yeah.
Turnipboy can feel good now, knowing that they only need one more point.
Not always easy to get a single point on a single high.
Let's take a look at that drink print while we have a moment. When did the ambassador take that drink? They take it in conversation here. The twin takes. Was it a difficult print on the drink? I think it must have been.
It might have been. I think the message doesn't say difficult for some reason. For fingerprintable drinks, I don't know why. Because it did look like there was an action test, but it didn't say difficult on my.
I mean, yeah, I was just looking back, and I
blog.
think I saw the twin take a drink after the ambassador did, which means that was two difficult prints for Turnipboy,
Yeah,
and it's
like I said,
no
there's
wonder they
absolutely
won.
no possibility. Two very difficult to notice difficult fingerprints. There's no possibility we thought that Rocker was finished with fingerprints. That is not happening.
Yeah, it
Difficult drink prints are the most difficult mission progress to track in the entire game.
Yep. Just really good fingerprint play from both of them, really.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we're going to be seeing the same thing here on High Rise. I would expect both of these players to keep fingerprints on and Purloin off. And the strategy I'm looking forward to seeing from Degran is if they're able to get a finish with a fingerprint that the ambassador's left somewhere for a long time. Yeah, and Dave in chat saying that you could have made a case that she bugged, so maybe you could have shot her for the inspects without knowing she did fingerprints.
Yeah, that was the only thing I thought that was possible, was that we might get shot just for assumption of bug or something like that.
And yet,
But
despite the proclivity for fingerprints, did I use that word right? Throughout the
I
set,
think so.
Degran seems to be turning
Mm.
fingerprints off going into high rise. They have Purloin on. Well, wait, swap is still on. I don't think we're done here yet.
I don't think we're done here yet.
No.
Unless we're
Okay, there we
ready.
go. There's the
Oh,
fingerprints on, but turn off the swap. There we go.
there we go. That's more normal.
And it looks like they are ready now. I think both of these players probably feeling pretty nervous going into this. It's far from guaranteed that Turnipboy will be able to take a correct shot here, depending on how the party plays. Starting in three.
Hold on, not there
Oh,
yet.
sure.
Okay, I'm good.
Great. Starting in three, two, one. Playing it. Looks like the chat was rooting for a bug, but we were AI controlled while the Ambo was near us. It's very hard to take control
Oh,
that quickly and realize you're able to get a bug.
yeah. Okay, a lot of people staring at this portrait here. Gonna go in for a nice far flirt here.
And
I
we
don't like far flirts on four of eights or 5 of 8s, but here that's great.
and we are starting off with a few statue visitors, General and Disney. So the party is already looking
Ooh.
good for Degran.
Was Disney at center statues? I couldn't quite tell.
No, I don't think he was at center statues. I think he was
Okay,
at the side one.
it might have been side one. It was hard for me to tell. It was on sniper view.
And there's the innocent drink take that we didn't get last time. Looks like Degran might be noticing those early statue visitors and just going to try to play it slow here. Queen's
Oh, we
getting
got
center
another one.
statues.
She is definitely a center statues. This is shaping up to be a great party for a Civ shot for Degran.
Ooh, and Disney going for a fingerprint when he's already
Oh,
done statues.
making a lot of AI progress here. I hope that Degran is tracking that. So there's really not much else to track at
No, Disney
high
looks
rise,
like
so.
he's the one flirting with Alice, going to that painting pad while she's there.
Disney, you're trying to steal our girl. What are you doing?
Disney really wants to be the spy. I mean, it makes
And did
sense.
you
He's the most spy-like character in the game.
And did you see that twitch by Alice at paintings? She was into it.
Yeah, she was getting closer to Disney there. And Degran is just playing into this. Degran seems like they know that Queen was at center statues.
Uh-oh. I think Degran just needs to maybe just get a nice BB at some point. We might get a shot.
I absolutely think so, and Degran seems to know it. They haven't been doing much. Getting the flirt just in case, and that's a good
It's
move.
not even seen.
Look at this.
We're
We're
not even
zeroing in on Queen. I think if Degran does a banana bread while Queen is in conversation with the double agent, he wins.
I think so as well. It's just a matter of whether or not he's aware of who of these statue visitors is the most suspected.
Meanwhile, Degran is at the bookcase, not getting a print here. There's just nothing. Degran knows that he can get a Civ shot, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, we are not getting shot here right now. There's no chance of that, unless we do something.
The only issue is that Disney in general haven't gone back to statues. Queen is really the option we want. We need 1 minute for Queen to get in conversation with an SDA. Well, she is in with one.
She is in with an SDA, but we don't know that for sure.
And she's been in conversation this whole time. She's been talking, on and off. Unless you're an expert flirt tracker, you will be crediting Queen for flirt, crediting her for statues. We need an SDA to enter with Queen sometime in the next 40 seconds.
This is dicey. High Rise is one of the worst maps, in my opinion, for
there it
getting
is.
the DA.
There's a double agent.
Right.
Go for it right now and get Queen shot.
Do it.
Do it. Degran. Look,
it.
everyone's entering. This is the perfect time, and we're doing it, and let's see if Queen gets shot.
We're just seeing lowlights right now.
No shot coming off from Turnipboy.
Do we not think that Queen...
Degran bugged instead, and now we're in mission win countdown!
Oh, wow. That held shot by Turnipboy. He must not have thought that Queen finished flirting, which is possible. She stood there a while. and the rest of conversation kind of shifted around a bit. So might not have thought that Queen could have been finishing Flirt, and may have just thought that that was an AI.
Yeah.
Really good held shot.
Well, I think the other thing that it could be is that Queen had opportunities to banana bread earlier, and she would have taken one of them. This wasn't necessarily the timing of when Queen would do it, I think.
That's possible. Yeah, I don't. Was Duke in conversation? I'm not sure.
Not sure, so I'm just going to get in touch with both of the players, let them know that they can join us for a post-game interview in headquarters chat if they'd like. We'll see if we get any responses to that. Really, really fantastic final game there. I really thought the shot was going to come off on Queen, especially with the safety off, but Turnipboy showing some high-rise mastery there.
Yeah, really was really on to the sort of psychology that Queen would need to have been the spy there. Either, I wasn't sure if Duke was in conversation, but if he was, then she would have taken that banana bread earlier. That's definitely true.
And so we're going to head on over to headquarters. We have both players joining us for an interview.
What's up?
Hey, who is this? I need to look over. Hey, Turnipboy. Degran said that they'll be getting a glass of water, and then they'll be joining us as well.
Cool.
But in the meanwhile, congratulations on winning. That was a really exciting set, which I think was defined by a lot of really, really good fingerprint play. You got 2 difficult fingerprints as Rocker on Gallery.
Yeah, I don't hit green tests all that often, but apparently I was feeling it there. Both times I was planning on going directly there, and then somebody beat me. I really wanted Twin, I think, to deny that drink, because I had planned on calling him over, but just barely I couldn't call him.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It was the Twin who took it, but it worked out. You got the difficult with absolutely no suspicion.
Yeah, and it was kind of unfortunate at the end that he wrong shot, because I was like, oh, it didn't really matter in the end, but I mean, it does still matter. But
well, I mean, I think it does matter. The wrong shot comes off because you were able to not get any suspicion while completing missions. There's an interesting relationship between those things.
That's true.
Anyway, while we're waiting for Degran to join us, let's dive into some of these.
He just hopped in here.
I just joined.
Hey, Degran.
Hey.
GG, well played. That was a really, really intense match. The final game in particular there really came down to the wire. I loved the aggressive finish that you went for there when you realized the sieve shot wasn't coming off.
Yeah, I did the banana bread like 4 seconds too early. Probably wouldn't have gotten a shot either way, but then I was like, oh wait, no, he's not going to shoot because it's not going to go into overtime. I got to do something.
Yeah, and for some reason, I darted my eyes away for just like a second. I didn't actually see that bug. I just saw a weird path over and back, and I was like, I think I can take this shot.
Yeah, right. It was like I was bumping myself off of the ambassador.
Yeah, if you got that shot 1 second earlier, I may still have tried to do an OT shot, and it probably wouldn't have been in time.
Yeah, I can tell that both of you still have the high-rise jitters from that. But we'll start by going a little bit back in time to Aquarium, and then we'll check out the high-rise game last. So diving back into Aquarium, no water pun intended. This first game when Degran, you were Queen, and this was the game where, as viewers may recall, I believe the Hylit twin finished statue inspects, and then Degran, as Queen, you picked up a drink at the bar, and you entered next to the twin, and we thought you were going to delegate to the twin because you knew that they had completed inspects and were a big suspect, but no delegate came off. Can you explain what your decision-making was there, Degran?
So I was not thinking about Purloin that game like at all. And I thought, and part of that was I had thought that I had picked up a highlight for the, I believe it was a statue visit. And watching the replay, I see now that that was actually a low light. So
Yep.
I was saying, like, okay, there's no way I'm getting away with Purloin. We've got 30 seconds. It was not really on my mind. I felt like maybe the bug was the only real option I had there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if that ambassador had just stayed in conversation for another moment, you would have easily been able to sort of walk behind him and get the bug, but instead it became an obvious one.
Even with the low light, it is pretty clear what happened. And then, of course, I fumbled it because I was thinking, like, okay, I'll play the bug into request drink animation. Maybe that'll work. But then I just pick up the briefcase.
Yeah, and if there's no one behind you, that's not a way to avoid a shot. And so
Yeah,
the
Glad I
second...
saw that
Go
low
ahead.
light. I'm glad I still saw that bug through the low light there.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy bug to see even with low light, but that wasn't really Degran's fault. It was just bad timing with the ambassador there. The second...
and the ambassador did a similar thing to Turnipboy in a later game where he, like, baited him into a bug.
Oh, yeah, that was stupid. I had a whole... we'll get to that game in a minute.
Yeah, well, whenever we get to that, feel free to let me know the timestamp. We can take a look at it. But the second aquarium game, Turnipboy was Irish and went for just a really, really smooth game. You got a fingerprint finish. There was a purloin here.
I think there was a little bit of lacking in the smoothness when I think that was the game I tried 2 bugs in a row and neither took, right?
Yes, so let's take a look at that moment again.
Oh my, because, like, that is...
Yeah, I mean,
they
you
were
can
just
get
free
away with
bugs.
it on this
Yeah,
round.
you can,
Yeah,
but,
right.
like...
There's free bugs, but, it doesn't hurt to miss them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could have just, stood next to the ambassador, done a standing bug, and moved back. I don't know if the walking bug was necessary, but it was definitely very tragic. But other than that...
I've done that. I've done that dozens of times and, like, never missed it. And then I missed 2 in a row, and I'm like, what did I do?
I credited you for that first bug, but then you didn't really do anything else that made me suspicious. So I was like, okay, I tend to credit, like, all the bugs. Really, anyone walking behind the shark just bugged the ambassador. But yeah, I see that did not come off there.
Yeah, and speaking of crediting bugs, the next aquarium game was when Degran, you were Tex. You started off at the bar and you immediately took this bug path behind the ambassador. The shark covers the arms, so it's not seen. Turnipboy, you immediately, or not so immediately, but a couple seconds later, you highlight Tex for the bug, but then shortly afterwards, you brought him back down to neutral. What were you thinking at the time?
That I didn't want to confuse my highlights, so I was just going to remember the fact that I credited him with bug, but obviously that didn't work since I forgot by the last moments of the game when I panicked and thought that one of them was swapping on me.
Yeah,
and
it
then
was...
I saw that Tex didn't swap, so I was like, oh, it's probably Rocker swapping.
I've never put down a statue quicker. Like, I was like, I have to show him that I didn't swap this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
just
very,
bad panic
very
at the
exciting final minute from you, Degran, because you didn't really have much progress besides the bug, but in that final minute, not only do you finish your flirt, you go to the green bookcase, you get a fingerprint, and then you immediately put the book away. You spend almost no time with the book at all.
Yeah.
Then you enter conversation, you get the banana bread, and you immediately leave after getting it. And then you just go for your second fingerprint. You were incredibly active. Were you worried about getting shot there?
I was definitely worried about that. But really, the big thing I was worried about was I wasn't sure if there was still that second fingerprint on the statue. And so I was saying, like, okay, if I can get to the statue and there's a fingerprint, I might have a chance. Otherwise, I'm going to have to swap, which will be no good. But yeah, I felt that I would have remembered if someone else went to that statue, because I honestly couldn't at that time.
Yeah, it had been 2 minutes since the ambassador was there.
Oh,
We're
wow.
going for it with
okay.
about 10 seconds left, and here's the ambassador at the 2-minute mark leaving the print. And after that, no one goes to that statue. So really, really good job remembering the fingerprint, and definitely gave us quite possibly the most exciting moment of the
I
set.
think that game just demonstrates that I need to. I think in the off season I'm gonna try to rethink through my highlight strategies on certain maps because I need to be a little bit more dynamic with my highlights. I tried switching up my highlight strategy in some of my play mid-season, but then I just realized that it was kind of doing it mid-season is dangerous because then you play worse for a bit while you're trying to transition.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, Aquarium has really forced me to sort of rethink highlight. Like I haven't really put a lot of conscious thought into it, but on the game previously, I really only had one highlight because I wasn't highlighting for statues for probably the first time this season. Which, yeah, I should have probably been highlighting for something else instead. But yeah, it's weird because there aren't more statues here than on other maps, but it seems like maybe it's just because they're so spread out. I feel like I don't get a lot of mileage out of keeping track of who's been to statues.
Yeah, I agree.
And so on this next aquarium game, Turnipboy, you played a really aggressive game. You got a purloin off to Tex right at the start. You went for your first fingerprint from a briefcase, and then you went to get another fingerprint from the green shelf, and you took the book out, you entered, you contacted, and I thought you weren't going to get shot. It was aggressive play, but there didn't seem to be much of a reaction from Degran. But Degran, you were clearly way more on top of it than I thought. Can you let us know how and when you started to suspect Turnipboy?
So, if I'm not mistaken, I'm scrolling through the game right here. I definitely had noticed I think the briefcase at, let's see, where is it? He's in that middle convo and goes over to Ambassador. So it's I noticed that he had put down the briefcase while Ambassador was at the green bookshelf. So I kind of noted those two things at the same time, which just helped me when he went back to green shelf later. I remembered oh yeah, Amba had been there recently.
Nice.
That's exactly what Paratroopa said when we were casting it. So I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah, and I mean, other than that, there really weren't any other giveaways other than just I kind of felt like from the last game, it was a very clean game, and I had no idea that it was Irish. Maybe if I had remembered the bug path, but that wouldn't have even mattered. So I was kind of on my toes that game. I was definitely committed to taking a shot, and just seeing going into the banana bread, I'm like, okay, I'm freaked out enough that I think I need to shoot.
Yeah, I had 2 minutes left at that point. I really should have just actively idled for a minute and a half.
Yeah, I think you definitely would have burned any suspicion that I had, because like I said, it really wasn't anything other than just being scared of losing the game.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where sometimes if you do it that early, then they just don't think you're done. So maybe they don't take a shot that early, but I feel like I could have just burned suspicion for a minute and a half and probably won that one.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's something that on Aquarium it would have paid to have been behind the shark. It might have just gotten enough time. It was I'm seeing you do the talking animation. I'm hearing banana bread. You're one of the only things in my vision. Banana bread. It's not doing you any favors.
Yep. Also, it wasn't the best banana bread ever, I don't think.
Yeah, only Pearl's.
Oh
really
yeah.
The
other DA is out of conversation, and it's literally me and Pearl with real. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Alice has just left. Well, that could have easily been a Sunshine, but if the sniper doesn't know that Alice just left, yeah, you do look like you're the only one.
Yeah, and I think that happened on your last game of Aquarium, where I was confident the banana bread was a fake, because there were no SDAs in conversation, and the double agent left right as I heard it, behind the shark. So I thought it was a fake.
Yeah, I think that's something that happened as well. You're correct.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's something. There's probably a whole lot of banana bread strategy to do with the shark. Now I'm guessing it is undiscovered.
And so, moving on to Courtyard, this first game on Courtyard, Degran, you were the spy as Alice, and forgive me, but this one seemed to slip away from you a little bit. We saw 2 time ads in this game, and it didn't look like you were ever really going to complete missions. Can you let us know what was going through your mind during this game?
Yeah, so there was a little bit of meta here. Wait, Turnipboy had mentioned in chat that the late game time ads were successful, so I thought maybe it was probably around the like minute and a half mark where I'm like, okay, I'm not getting missions done. I need to frame or just get a shot somehow. I didn't really have a very good idea of how I would do that, but that was sort of the only game plan that I had. So yeah, I was hoping with the time ads I could maybe I don't know, either get a low light just for being inactive, or maybe get someone else shot, because there was, what was it, at about like the minute 6 mark, I was hoping that the second time ad will do something, but it didn't really go anywhere. Yeah,
I'm pretty bad against time ads too, so like
yeah,
it works pretty well that you do so many. But I did catch your second one. I think I caught pretty much, and I was like 90% sure it was you.
Okay, yeah. The 2 time ads, even being bad at time ads, like 2 time ads on Courtyard at the end is a bit much.
Let's just quickly, look at this. Look at how Alice enters conversation, and then right as the sniper rotates away, Degran, you leave, you do the time ad, and you go back to the same exact spot. Is a very, very good awareness of the laser there, because you're seen entering, and it never looks like you're at a window at all.
Time ads. Like, I was spectate sniping a few of his replays, and he does quite a few of these time ads, and like, even if I'm looking for it, somehow I'm like, I don't catch that he's the one that did it. It's good stuff.
And so on the next game, Turnipboy, you were Alice, and you win this game with a swap. And Degran, I've got to ask you, to us it looked like this swap was on screen. Did you see it?
So I definitely noticed that the statue changed. I did not see the animation, and I was already pretty suspicious of Salmon, just for activity. Like, he had 2 prints, and the lesson from Aquarium is that Turnipboy is going to get the prints. So yeah, there was definitely a fair amount of thought into that shot, where like, okay, is this Alice with a white swap, or did Salmon do it? The fact that Alice went to the statue right next to it was probably the deciding factor, where I'm like, okay, I didn't think that she had missions done. So I assumed that would either be to just get rid of suspicion, do kind of like a weird AI quirky thing, in which case I was going to be able to catch her doing something else. But since that was actually mission completion, I just didn't take the shot.
All right, yeah. See, on our end, it looked like maybe you didn't notice the swap, but if you thought that Salmon's the one who did it and you were just waiting to see what he would do next, then it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, in that game I noticed that Salmon was pretty suspicious. So my goal was, well, when I walked up to the statue, my thought was, I'm just going to swap it real quick and then ditch. Because it looked like his his vision was on the other side, so I was just going to ditch. And then somehow, right at that moment, I like chickened out of the swap and did an inspect real quick. And then I'm like, no, I have to do this. And then obviously it was worse timing. Because I think if I just swapped and ditched instantly, I don't think he would have seen. And
maybe not. Going like slow scrolling through the replay there, your arms are completely covered by that shrub. on the animation, by the time my camera gets around, like that statue is already blended in to the eagle.
Yeah, now I want to pull it up and see this. Sometimes it's hard to tell with
Yeah, we're seeing it on stream here. And so the next two courtyard games, Degran as General does a BB into Purloin, gets shot. The fourth courtyard game, Turnipboy as Salmon tries a reverse drive-by bug, gets shot. And so let's move on to Gallery.
Oh yeah, that I think it was that Salmon courtyard game where the Amba just totally baits him.
Yeah. So I had a whole game plan on that one of doing. Well, it's not. Yeah. We can.
I don't know. Basically, it's funny looking to me because like she bumps into the conversation, so it looks like she's doing an enter.
Yeah.
Then bumps out like right as your hand gets out there.
And that game, I had no real intention of completing either. I came into there with I felt like he was nervous shooting a little bit there, so I was planning on just going into it, doing one time at, and not completing until maybe the last second.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason, I just couldn't resist but right-clicking when Amba came for some dumb reason.
Yeah, I mean, and that's probably a good strategy since I lost the last courtyard game because I didn't, I at least could have flipped the coin on that, right, between you and Alice.
And yeah, that bug would have been really nice if she actually made it into that combo.
Yeah, especially just from the angle, like a little lean might have been visible, although Salmon doesn't have a whole lot of lean in his animation, so yeah, she really screwed you over there.
And so moving on to these Gallery games, the first game, Degran, you were Irish. Here's a question I wanted to know. When you did your first microfilm over at the Blue Bookshelf, I want to go and take a look back at this and see how long you waited at that bookshelf before doing the microfilm.
That is a good question. I feel like I didn't do the micro at the opportune time, but I felt like I had been there kind of too long. So I pick it up at like 3:10.
3:14 looks like when you start. Yeah, the book comes out at 3:10, and you put the book away at 2:35. That is 35 seconds spent with a book in your hand. I don't know how much that translates to cycles, but wow, what a long time.
Yeah, that's definitely too long. I feel like that's certainly an etiquette break.
Yeah, but I pay attention to cycles as statues, but I'm not really going to be counting cycles. Unless I'm really watching you, I'm probably not really going to notice.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that was just, I feel like I picked that book up a little too early, and just like Toby would not circle around onto the other side of that conversation, really. And I did not want to be seen doing the animation, so I just, waited it out.
Oh dang! I'm actually kind of surprised with myself that that was just purely in view. Usually, if a white microfilm is that in view, I won't miss it. But apparently, I did there.
Yeah, and
I think part of that is probably the fact like there was a lot of activity. So right when I microed, Toby's changing. He's going back behind the conversation. We have two. We have two people going right by Amba. Three if you count Duke there.
Yep, so, exactly.
I felt like that was just probably the best chance I was going to get.
Yeah, that was just really nice timing, actually, now that I look at it. Because, I was having to defend Amba pretty hard there.
I feel like I've gotten fairly good at microfilm timing because I play a lot with Tristram. And I for the first 1,000 games we played, I mean, I never got a microfilm by him. So I've gotten very good at thinking about, okay, when would someone not be able to look over here?
And here's the second microfilm over at Green. This time, I mean, we were talking about it during the cast. You'll see, we were trying to analyze it in the moment, what the sniper was looking at. In this case, the ambassador seemed sort of safe at statues. Toby wasn't really offering to anyone. Was there anything about the timing of this microfilm, Degran, that made you think it was good?
The only thing is that I felt like I had kind of good cover with Seek, Papa Danger, and Pearls over there, and Toby. Like they're all kind of tall characters, so I felt like I had kind of good cover. But yeah, timing wise, nothing really was going on. I mean, especially Ambassadors of the Statues, so that's kind of like one of the safest times. But I felt like because we were getting towards the end of the game, he would probably be watching for other things other than micro. I felt like I had gotten away with the first one, so.
Yeah, and that's
I
correct.
even remember
You
noting
weren't going to be shot for
sorry.
statue finish if the microfilm wasn't seen, I think. So.
Although, I think I did almost shoot him for the fast pickup at statue at the end there.
I definitely felt. I mean, especially because I was winning this game with the same way I won Aquarium, with like a fingerprint on statues. I'm like, okay, really the only saving grace there I felt was that I picked it up, like, I got the fingerprint like right at 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Because
so you probably had to pick it up super quick, but...
Yeah, if there had been any overtime, I felt like I was definitely going to get shot there.
Yeah, and the timing works out perfectly. The next gallery game, Turnipboy as Rocker gets the 2 difficult fingerprints and wins. We know that story. And now we come to High Rise. Let's just look at this again a little bit more in depth. So the question is, Turnipboy, how big of a suspect was Queen for you throughout the game, and why didn't you take a shot on her at any point?
Let's see here. I gotta remember exactly what Queen was up to. Oh yeah, so she went to middle statues. This is actually really bad on my part, is that I did not actually see I didn't count whether she 1-cycled or 2-cycled. So I had to credit her with the 2-cycle at center statue, which usually I'm a lot better at watching to make sure whether they do 1 or 2 cycles. And then on the entrance in at 208 or whatever, I felt like she could have done a bug with her right hand on the entrance into that conversation, and it would have been completely invisible to me.
Oh yeah, because Disney would have kind of covered that for her.
Yeah,
but basically, I felt like if it was the spy, she would have 2-cycled statues, got a bug there, and then went for a flirt win, which I didn't feel like she had. And then when the BB comes off, like, obviously she could be done as well, but I didn't think if he had those 2 things, he would have BB'd. He would have gone for the flirt instead.
Very interesting. So the fact that Queen entered next to the ambassador saved her life.
Yeah,
a little bit, actually, I suppose.
Yeah, and see, I wish I had been more aware of Queen that game, because I was assuming that top suspects were probably Disney and then General, because just because of the prints.
Yeah, Disney got
they both
prints
been to
and statues.
Yeah,
I don't think he finished statues though. I'm not sure if he finished prints.
Yeah, I know General finished prints. I don't think... But of course, General was outside. I was kind of conflicted about that banana bread, because General, who I kind of picked as maybe a frame target, he was out for that conversation. And at that point, the timing was just too bad. I'm like, okay, like, I'm probably not going to be able to wait for him to come over.
Oh, actually, even if I didn't credit the bug, I don't think I would have shot her. I just didn't have a good pairing down for her having flirt done. I just didn't credit her with getting flirt done there.
Yeah, it's really, really good high-rise sniper play to not be able to take a shot on someone like that who seems to have bugged or seems to have done center inspects, and that's how you have to do it. You have to decide if they've been flirting or not, and since she was in the same position the whole time, never really seemed like she was trying to flirt with anyone.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think Tex and Wheels are like the ones that were near her a couple times, maybe General as well. But she made no effort to actively go to them, and I don't think she actually talked near them enough.
No, she
It would've
enters
been
this
close,
conversation at the back next to the ambassador, who she's not flirting with, and then just doesn't
Yeah.
make an effort. So very good job to Turnipboy for winning that last high-rise game, and also the set, but really great play from Degran as well. Those fingerprint finishes were amazing, and you both did really well, and this was a very close game. And the courtyard games were also just very interesting, the strategies that you were going for with the slow plays. So it was a very exciting match to watch. Thank you for letting us cast it. Thank you for joining us for the interview. And we award the winner medal to Turnipboy.
My pleasure. This is really cool that you guys are doing this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And Turnipboy will be looking forward to seeing your match against Rio next week, seeing if you're able to get into the tournament of position or placement.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, at this point, I think I just need a tie, because I think I beat him on tiebreaker. So
I'm not
sure.
Well,
the second tiebreaker, I believe, is match wins, which I have more match wins than I will have more.
But I think you are counting on Pox to lose because Pox has beaten you. Is that correct?
Yeah. No. I'm gonna be. So basically, I think we're just battling for third place, right? And then the first is auto promote, and then the next two go into the tournament, right?
Yeah, that should be how it works, assuming Shep takes the auto promote. But Pox is looking like they'll be able to get a win and make it up to 20 points. So you would end up tied with Pox, possibly, if you beat Rio. But I think since Pox has beaten you, that they win the...
I wouldn't be ahead of Pox, so it would go Shep, Pox, then me.
Yeah, I think so, and that's if you beat Rio. And of course, if Rio beats you, it can go Shep, Rio, and then Pox, because Rio has beaten Pox. So it's an exciting end of season. Either way, it's all confusing, very confusing stuff. We were going over it earlier. But either way, it's going to be very exciting. So thank you again to both of you. Thank you to Paratroopa for co-casting.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great set.
And thanks to everyone for watching. And you can just keep your eye out on the SCL calendar. Any matches on the calendar which are double-colored teal and blue means they are being live cast, so keep an eye out for that. And we'll hopefully be covering a lot more of the final matches in each division over the next week. So thank you again, and have a good night.
Yeah, thanks. You too. See ya.